What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode review for Shenmue the Animation. This is episode 4, and with me, as always, I have Blue Spade.
Yeah. I kind of figured that they were already near the end of the first part of Shenmue 1. It just seems like they're already that they kind of took out some scenes in order to get to this point. So like one example is like well, before we talked about this before the review, is like we were talking about how Rio was trying to get to Hong Kong, and before that happened, he was going to get a plane ticket from like a lesser known travel agency. So he goes to collect the ticket, but then like he's dealt with like several obstacles from doing so. Like one example is like Chai, one of the members of Landi's criminal organization, stops Rio from getting that ticket in the first place. So it's what leads him to what Rio is doing in this episode, which is to get a job as a forklift operator.
Yeah, I didn't realize this because I wasn't exactly sure if this was the point where it happened in the game, but yeah, they I guess they did cut out this part of the game, which isn't a big deal, I guess. Basically, like like Blue Space said, it's Rio's trying to get a plane or a ticket to go to Hong Kong, and he finds out that one of the travel agencies, like that he what was it? He actually did get enough money. I think, if I remember correctly, I think it was Ine-san or something, like she lends him money so that he can actually buy the ticket. So he does end up getting the ticket, but of course, Chai steals it, and he has to try to I guess find like a cheaper travel agency, and the one he ends up finding is ends up being sort of a scam. And this does kind of take up a lot of time in the game, but it's not. I guess it's not like totally important, so I'm fine with him kind of omitting that. But yeah, of course, after this, he does end up getting a job so that he can gather up enough money so that he can travel to Hong Kong.
Yeah, so he like I said, he gets a job as a forklift operator, and one of the other characters that he interacts with is, I think his name is Mark, who's also who's one of the forklift operators who helps train Rio how to do the job. So it's pretty much the first half of the episode is just Rio just working the job, while at the same time he's also interacting with another character. I think it was Goro, who's one of the gang members he helped stop I think at the last episode. And of course Goro has an admiration with Rio because of his family history.
Yeah, I think somebody mentioned they don't actually that Goro didn't have much of a backstory in the game, so they kind of I guess gave him a little bit of a backstory in the anime.
Yeah, it's because he admires Rio because of his dedication to avenge his father's death, and the fact that Goro himself is too scared to go up against his own father, so it's why he's in the situation that he is right now, going on with gangs and then hustling other people for money. And of course we see he has some history with I think a couple of Rio's friends. I think one was working. I can't remember what was who was the other character.
Yeah, I don't remember what her name is, but she's one of Rio's classmates, and she, I guess, knows Goro.
Mm-hmm.
And she's the one working at working around the docks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and of course during one of the scenes, Goro and Rio talk to each other. Well, actually, Rio is asking Goro if there's a way for him to get into the Mad Angels gang, and Goro said, he can't do that. I don't think there's any easy way for them to do that. And of course, Mark overhears this conversation, and then this leads Mark to getting assaulted by members of the Mad Angels gang before Rio steps in and saves him.
Yeah, and we also learned that Mark apparently didn't really like Rio at first because he thought Rio was just trying to get easy money, but then he eventually realized, overhearing Rio's conversations, that he was he was basically doing it to try, I guess, because he was trying to avenge his father, and that Mark could relate to that because of, I guess, his he felt he was kind of similar to Rio.
Yeah, and of course, we also get another scene with Rio talking to Nozomi about why he's taking a job as a forklift operator and skipping classes. And this pretty much leads to Rio just pretty much telling Nozomi the entire truth of why he's doing this and wanting to avenge his father. And this of course leads to Nozomi wanting to investigate on her own to try and help Rio. And if we remember, I don't think that we even see her like investigating in the game. I think this is the first time they've ever done this in the anime.
Yeah, it does seem like they want Nozomi to be more involved in the plot.
Yeah.
Yeah, we also see more scenes with her, like, I guess, at her house too. And we see some of those in this episode as well, where like they kind of focus on this her decision whether she wants to go to Canada. I think it was to be with her father, or if she like wants to stay there or something like that. That was something that happens in the game, where Nozomi actually does end up going to Canada, but it seems like they've kind of given this plot point a little bit more focus in the anime.
Yeah. So she did. So at one point she makes a delivery to, I think, to one of the bars, in which she ends up asking the bartender if he knows anything about the Mad Angels. But unfortunately, this lands her into trouble, which causes her to get abducted by one of the members of the Mad Angels. So Rio overhears this, and then he goes to rescue Nozomi from her captors, and then they give him an ultimatum to assassinate Guizong in order to for them to save Nozomi.
We should also mention that, speaking of Guizhang, he also teaches Rio the I guess a new move in this episode, which is I think it was like swan dive kick or something like that.
Yeah, it's pretty much an axe kick to the head.
Yeah.
So they do end up fighting each other by the docks, and they end up supposedly they end up hitting each other with that same move against each other, and they both end up going down, and then that's pretty much how the episode ends. Just kind of a bit of a cliffhanger right there. But
I'm trying to remember if this happened in the game as well, because I do vaguely remember this part, and I'm not sure if this is the part where like Rio actually goes up against a bunch of guys and has to fight them in order to I guess rescue Nozomi. But in the anime, like, he says he's going to fight, or he's going to assassinate Guizhang. It could have happened in the game, but like I said, it's been a while since I played it, so I don't remember if that's how it happened or not.
Yeah, I think. Well, yeah, like Rio. Yeah, it's because of the Mad Angels leader wants Guizhang eliminated, so he can get an advantage over the Chen's organization. So this of course leads, I think, one of the, I can't remember when, it's been a while since I played this game. So but yeah, it's like, without spoiling too much, Rio eventually teams up with the Guizhong to take down the Mad Angels and save Nozomi.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, I think I remember now. Yeah, I think the two of them. Yeah, there was actually, in the game. Again, not to spoil too much. Yeah, they Rio and Guizhong, I think, end up going against all these guys, and you end up fighting them. So yeah, I think that's what's probably what's about to happen in the next episode.
Yeah, but the episode, like I said, it ends off on a bit of a cliffhanger with the Rio and Guizhong knocking each other, supposedly knocking each other out with the axe kick move. So we'll probably have to see what happens from there. But for those that play the game, everyone knows what's going to happen there, and it obviously looks like they're very close to ending Shenmue 1 before heading into Shenmue 2.
Yeah, like so far, I mean, I'm mostly okay with some of the stuff they've cut. It doesn't seem like they're, rushing the pace too much. But I am, like I said, I am mostly concerned about how they're going to handle 2 because of how much stuff happens in Shenmue 2. So it seems like so far they've done an okay job with handling, like, adapting Shenmue 1. But I am, like I said, I am more concerned with what they're going to do with Shenmue 2.
Yeah. If I mean, there's still like a couple of other major characters from Shenmue 2 that they have yet to introduce into the anime. I think it was like both Ren and Joy that Ryo ends up teaming up with. But yeah, they're but yeah, well, obviously, like they already showed them off in the opening if everyone, pretty much saw them. So it's pretty obvious that they'll be in there. We did get like a minor scene with Shenhua. Like thankfully we don't get.
Yeah,
get
I was
another
about to
Shenhua
say.
scene.
I was about to say, thankfully we don't get, any of those Shenhua scenes in this episode. It was mostly like a dream sequence or like a nightmare, which actually does happen in the game. Like that Rio has but I think it's mostly like a nightmares about Londi or something.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I mean, thankfully there technically is a scene with her, but not the village scenes like we've been seeing. I honestly feel like they don't really even though they've included Shenhua's character in the anime, they don't really know what to do with her, so they just have her like walking around the village and just kind of repeating herself like she's said the same thing.
I mean, for like back in their Shenmue 1, like people didn't even know who Shenhua is because she was not in the game until you meet up with her in Shenmue 2. So it's just I don't know. It's just weird that they're trying to put her in there to give her some relevancy, but I just felt like the execution of that, it just feels kind of sloppy. I mean, I would.
The problem is that Shenhua doesn't really do anything of importance, and for any of the first game or most of the second one until the end of the second game. So it's like they probably don't know what to do with her character except to have her just walk around her village.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, well, but the episode itself is still pretty decent. I thought the fight sequences look pretty good, like animation wise. I thought they were gonna cut the corners, but I'm really surprised at how well they're animating a lot of the fight scenes in these episodes.
Yeah, the animation actually looks decent, which is like you said, pretty surprising considering. I kind of thought this would be fairly honestly like kind of a low budget production, or they just really wouldn't care much about animating it that well, because we have seen other video game or anime adaptations of video games that were kind of it seemed like they were kind of an afterthought. I think Scarlet Nexus is like a prime example of that. But yeah, fortunately this one, I think I do feel like the people making it were at least somewhat passionate about adapting the game properly, or actually having it look good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really have too much else to say about the episode. I don't know if you have anything else to say about it.
It was an okay episode. It's just I'm curious to see how they're gonna adapt the rest of the story going into the end of Shenmue 2, because now we know that that they are cutting some corners, cutting some scenes here and there to get to certain points of the story. So maybe that scene with Rio trying to get the plane ticket and Chai taking it away from him, I don't know, maybe it was an okay decision for them to just take it out, because it could have dragged out some amount of time for them to get to the next part of the story.
Yeah, I kind of figured some scenes would be cut. It's really more so what scenes are they gonna cut? It really depends on how important the scenes they're cutting out are, and if they can get away with cutting out those scenes. Which, like I said, I feel like those scenes aren't really all that important, so I'm mostly okay with those being cut out.
Yeah.
But yeah, that all being said, until next time, we will see you all later.